Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. Today I wanted to talk about what we're getting in 2025 in terms of events, both minor and major, but also what we can expect patch-wise and feature-wise throughout the year. At the very least, what the expectations are and what Cloud Imperium have kind of hinted at. Let's jump sort of right in with the events throughout the year. Now, some of these are minor, but in January, we're going to have the Red Festival. Typically, this is at the end of January and is basically mirroring Chinese New Year, which starts on the 29th of January next year. So, yeah, you can expect that. They basically have a few things going on. You can find red envelopes in game. They'll have some special skins for ships. And you'll have like a screenshot competition, stuff like that. Most of the minor festivals are pretty much the same kind of formula, but just sort of focused on a particular thing. We'll also have the January planning and roadmap update, probably at the end of January, maybe early February. Basically, Cloud Imperium spend the first month of the year planning what content they're going to be trying to get into major patches throughout the year, and then give us a big roadmap update going, here you go, this is what we expect. February, we're going to have Core and More. This is Valentine's Day in Star Citizen. They have a couple of ships that will have like Valentine's Day paint schemes, things like that. They might be selling some ships that are for 2 players, or a little pack that is for 2 players. March, you've got Stellar Fortuna. This is sort of St. Patrick's Day in Star Citizen. This is about green and gold paints and more lucky ships. We'll have some rarities like the Constellation Phoenix Emerald go on sale and stuff like that. All your green skins. April 1st, that's Triggerfish, April Fool's Day in Star Citizen. Around that time, you might get some silly Inside Star Citizen episode where Cloud Imperium talk about a fake ship or something like that, something a bit silly. Previously, they've had Flat Planets, they've had the Origin 404, the Invisible Ship, a Chris Roberts fragrance, things like that. Silly stuff. May is where the first big event sort of turns up, and that will be Invictus Launch Week or Fleet Week. And this is sort of paired with Drake Defense Con. Basically, CIG have a massive sale, have a free fly going on as well, so everyone can try Star Citizen for free. There's expo halls where you go and you can rent all these ships, try all these ships. There's a load of new ships that are going on offer. It's all focused on combat as well and logistics for combat and military purposes. The UE fleet can be flying around as well, and they'll have a load of military ships on show, and you see things like Javelins and Idris. They have tours of them. They've got the Bengal flying around sometimes. And sometimes you get to see some pretty cool stuff, so I am very excited about Invictus Launch Week this year. Well, this year coming, I should say. June, you've got Alien Week, First Contact Day. So basically during Fleet Week, they don't really have any alien ships, but in June, they sort of celebrate the alien stuff. July, you've got the Foundation Festival. This is about getting new players in game and teaching players how to play the game and getting people to come and help them sort of play. You go and use the sort of guide system. You can use the guide system to basically pair yourself up with another player, and they will teach you how to do something. And you're encouraged to do that during the Foundation Festival because you'll get some prizes and some gear, and they'll get some gear as well. And there's ships and stuff going around to the people that are the best guides and do the most stuff with the guides. They're sort of trying to get more players into playing and learning how to play the game. August, you've got the Ship Showdown. So basically, they go, what flyable ships are in the game currently? What's the most popular? They sort of have a week or so on social media, finding out which are the most popular ships. And then they have a little one-on-one competition with the top 16 of those going against each other in sort of daily votes. And the most popular wins. And then the top 4 basically get some skins made for them and some like bits of little flair. The owners get all that sort of stuff for free during the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo later in the year. It can be a little bit controversial, the Ship Showdown. It is a popularity contest, but that also means that people can meme it to the top and stuff like that. But it's nice to see where the sort of top ships lie each year and the improvements that CIG make to this sort of competition, because they now have sort of like classes of ship that go against each other to start with and things like that. So I think it's very cool. I like all the sort of silly little things that they do with it. September, Pirate Week. You've got pirate skins. You've got the encouragement to play Pirate Swarm on Arena Commander. The year just gone, 2024, we had a little doubloons that you could get, basically a challenge coin for completing some tasks. And typically with the minor events, that's sort of something they might put in for a lot of them as well. Then we move on into October. October, always pretty big each year. You'd have Day of Vara, sort of Star Citizen Halloween running throughout the month, and they have loads of cool stuff going on with that. There'll be stuff to do in-game, to find like these rare masks that are only available during Halloween. They've got spooky skins, stuff like that going on. And then, towards the end of October, you're going to have CitizenCon, and that is where they have the big Star Citizen Fan Fest and announcements and a load of cool, look at this amazing stuff that we've got, look at these amazing announcements, look at what we're planning for the next year, look at where we are now. November, you've got the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, very similar to Fleet Week, but with sort of all the ships available as part of the expo there. Every day, different manufacturer, load of new ships on sale as well, and bam, big sales event. Everyone can play Star Citizen for free during that time. It's pretty big. Then December, like we've got at the moment, we've got Luminalia currently still going on. We often get a letter from the chairman in December, and either at the end of December or beginning of January, we get the previous year's Star Citizen or Cloud Imperium games financials and some statements from them about that sort of stuff. It's always pretty interesting. So that's the sort of stuff you can expect throughout the year, as well as a load of features and patches as well. So typically, CIG try to get 3 to 4 major patches out each year, kind of each quarter. And next year, 2025, you can expect sort of like probably for Q1 4.0.x patch, so they'll probably just improve the 4.0 build, and they might add a few bits and bobs there. And then I'm expecting like a 4.1 for Q2, Q3, and then 4.2 for Q4. And one of the reasons for that as well is because 4.0 isn't fully live yet, it's preview live, so they need to get that onto the live servers, and I think they'll get that and sort of optimizations to it for Q1 done. And there's going to be loads of minor patches in between. I suppose it's kind of irrelevant how many major patches they release because we're after features, right? We're after features in our hands that are playable. And that's what CIG have said is their main focus, or one of their main focuses in 2025. Playability of the Star Citizen MMO, of that persistent universe, moving alpha to something more mainstream early access, because if you see a load of the Star Citizen ads now on YouTube that may pop up, they refer to it as early access now, which is a definitive change from alpha, at least a definitive direction change in marketing. So yeah, 2025 should be dominated by 4.x builds, and there's going to be a big push to get engineering in-game, so that is expanded multi-crew, that's physicalization of components, that's the circuitry of ships, that's engineering panels, that's repair, that's sort of subsystem targeting, disabling ships, fires, life support. All of that was supposed to be in the 4.0 build. It got pushed out. CIG said it would be in a build in the near future. I'm expecting as part of the 4.0.x sort of set of builds in Q1, but could easily be pushed to Q2. I'd also expect a big focus on scanning and radar stuff. It's something they talked about in CitizenCon 2023 and 2024. They are building towards that. They've been sort of trying to get more exploration gameplay in, and part of that is better scanning, better detection, better radar stuff. And along with this, they also want to have better interactions for the cockpits, but also better interactions FPS style-wise, so that you can scan stuff, you can find stuff around your environment more easily, better animations, better general interaction, and more grabby, clicky, button pressy stuff. We're also going to be getting narrative events, it looks like, with each of the major patches and throughout the year, where CIG go, look, there's a new feature, we want to build missions with that in mind, and sort of help get players into this new gameplay, whether these are going to be very limited in sort of scope or length, or if they're going to run throughout the patch, or even if they're going to remain in the game afterwards, remains to be seen. But we do know that like the Safe Stanton missions, part 1 and part 2, they are for 3.24.3 and 4.0 respectively, and are kind of one and done limited time events. You are going to see the preview build used a lot more by CIG when they've got a live build and they want to put some new features in, or they'll go, we've got 4.1 out, but we have a couple of features that aren't going to make the sort of launch. We're going to put them into the preview build, and we're going to refine them there. You can try them out immediately, but we're going to refine them there, get the hotfixes in, and then phase them in to the live build without causing disruption. They talked about playability, and their focus on playability is going to be partly on making sure there's less disruption in your gameplay, less broken patches. And it's one of the reasons that they're running 4.0 simultaneously with another live build, is because that other live build, a lot more stable, or a lot less random bugs compared to the 4.0 build that has server meshing and a load of other bits going on with it. Obviously, one of the major things they're going to be trying to do early 2025 is get server meshing and 4.0 in the best possible state they can. That's some of the other stuff they're probably going to be trying to get into the game throughout the year as well. Some of the stuff at CitizenCon 2023 that you have yet to get in, like the Legionnaire, that ship, that should turn up pretty early on and would be my expectation. But there's also more major things like some engine and planetary updates. They're sort of building into some of their new planetary tech, which will be coming into the game throughout the year. I suppose this includes some of the weather systems, although they showed dynamic weather off in 2024. We'll get some of that stuff most likely, some dynamic clouds and some bits towards more dynamic weather throughout the year. Things like the physical destruction breakability tech Maelstrom may turn up. That's something they showed off in 2023 and 2024. You've got Star Whales, which were shown off in the last year's CitizenCon, and they are making more and more and more creatures. Obviously, Star Whales are pretty big, though. You're going to see some ship flight updates. We know they've got plans to sort of evolve master modes, and we'll talk about that in a minute, but they're also going to have a load of combat balance and variety in components and weapons and stuff like that start to be looked at. I think from 4.1 onwards, they're going to start to be trying to phase that more interesting gameplay and customization of your ships back in. Raids as well, so distribution center raids, barge heist raids, these sort of larger scale things to do that are more end game orientated or group orientated, where you'll be assaulting something, much more PvPvE sort of combined. But yeah, you're going to have things that are more PvP orientated, more PvE orientated there. Base building. I don't expect to see full base building, but obviously it was talked about at CitizenCon 2023 and 2024. It looks reasonably far along in 2024, and I would expect some level of base building to turn up by the end of the year. Loads more MFD, HUD, cockpit, and button updates, just their sort of cockpit experience being evolved. That's something they're going to want to have. Control surfaces, better flight in planets, so more physics-based there. There was a few other little things as well. They're going to have more environmental hazards like radiation. They're going to have cooler-looking cloth with star cloth. A little bit more CitizenCon Just Gone orientated. Sandworms. CIG did say that they are surprisingly close to being tested. So I am actually expecting them to have those raids tested in 2025, literally assaulting and fighting these big sandworms. You having to drive around in circles to get them to come up out of the ground and then sort of keep them there, attack them. Expect expanding out of variation in gear that you can wear as well, because they want to have these sort of like soft classes and job roles, allowing you to go, I'm going to wear all this armor and this gear, and this is going to make me more stealthy, this is going to make me more like a heavy tank or whatever while you're running around in FPS. I'm hoping as well that we see the combat Atlas suits, the sort of Titan suits, but with weapons on rather than just tractor beams. I expect to see new biomes as they sort of expand out, like jungle, forest, more dense forests, stuff like that. I said earlier, weather updates with dynamic weather and that sort of stuff. Potentially, we could get the Nyx system by the end of the year. Now, some people might be like, that's crazy, we've only just got Pyro, or we haven't technically even got Pyro properly on live. It is kind of live, but Nyx has had a lot of work and is a lot smaller and more manageable than Pyro, so I do think it is very possible that we could see Nyx in-game by the end of next year. Squadron 42 features, more of those coming across to Star Citizen. Org and group features as well. They wanted to expand these out. If you're looking for ships, they basically tease the fact that they're going to be getting the Expanse, in which, well, some sort of MISC industry ship, which looks like it's going to be the Salvager, the Expanse, that's been sort of rumoured for a while. There's some sort of mini Corsair-looking ship, the Starlancer TAC, the sort of combat variant of the Starlancer. The Perseus, we know that CIG have been working on. The Ironclad, I'm very excited about that. The Liberator and the Apollo. A lot of people will be excited for the Apollo. I do think we'll see all of those next year. And the other thing was base building. So we talked about that a minute ago. I do expect to see a small level of it and land claims and some gameplay there and exploitation of resources. You're likely going to see some base building ships and vehicles as well with the Argo fabrication model of that little CSV or whatever it's called. Some sort of building version of the Centurion on the Atlas platform, different from the Atlas Titan suits. It's the sort of ground vehicle. Pioneer, I don't think the Pioneer will actually be in game, but they're going to be working on it. And we've got the Starlancer BLD version as well, and the potentially an Urza or Greycat building vehicle. But I do genuinely expect some level of base building in game by the end of 2025. Now, the thing I do want to talk about here, I know this video has been going on for a while already, is some of the changes to master modes, flight and combat. Basically, CIG said, look, master modes, it's got some of the stuff we wanted in it, that definite choice of whether you're going traveling or you're in combat mode, SCM mode, but we're going to evolve this a bit more. We want it to be less of a binary choice. SEM and nav modes are going to be part of the operator modes, and they're going to try to have more cohesive, unified speeds across the modes for less restriction in mode switching. You're not losing any of the speed that you could basically have with your nav mode, but they're going to be moving more into players using quantum boost, updated quantum travel stuff to look better as well. They don't want players sort of traveling at high cruise speeds for like 100 kilometers or whatever. They're going to want you to quantum boost there, which will move you up to 1/10 of your quantum travel speed. And because it's a more magic kind of traveling system, you don't have to worry about inertia. You don't have to worry about sort of ramming stations and objects so much, because they haven't got the sort of the inertia or the G-force restrictions behind it. It's also going to change the fact that when you are using your quantum drive, basically you just can't use your shields. You can use your weapons now with the new way they want to do it, but previously they basically went no weapons, no shields when you're traveling in nav mode. It's going to be iterated on, it's going to evolve, but we're going to see load of combat evolution in general as well, with the flight model, combat model, dogfighting, all that sort of stuff being really focused on, along with multi-crew and engineering all coming together. By the end of the year, you can expect Star Citizen, or at least CIG clearly wants Star Citizen to be in a really good place, a much more stable mainstream place when it comes to all of that kind of gameplay with multi-crew, with combat, with dogfighting, with ships. Something that will also be reflected in Squadron 42. But that's just my opinion on what we're going to see in 2025. And obviously, a lot of it is based on what Cloud Imperium said. But I'm interested to know what you expect to see throughout the year. Are you excited by anything in particular? Are you thinking that other stuff may turn up? If so, what? Do you think anything I talked about is no way it's going to be in 2025? No way there's going to be sandworms. No way there's going to be base building. I'm hoping as well that we see Maelstrom take form by the end of the year as well. So that's going to be based on whether engineering gets refined enough. But obviously Cloud Imperium want to put that destruction and breakability tech in. Anyway, please tell me what you think in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. The Adobe Eye Tracker 5 is on sale until the 3rd of January 2025. You can get 20% off now. It gives you natively supported high precision head and eye tracking in Star Citizen, and it is absolutely awesome for deeper immersion, for combat, for a whole range of stuff as long as you use it. Go to toby.gg/BoredGamer or use the links below to get that discount and help the channel. Ho, ho, ho. Hey there, Timmy. No, that's Northern Claus. No, Timmy, I am normal Santa with presents for you. You're really a normal Santa? Yes, why would I lie about that? I'll have the one on the left. There you go, Timmy. Open your lovely box of spiders. Ah, I hate spiders. spiders!
So do I, Timmy. That's why I would have picked the other box, which was full of NordVPN. Ho, ho, ho. Use the links below to get nordvpn.com/BoredGamer and help protect yourself online, but also give you better accessibility. It should be part of your Christmassy toolbox. Merry Nordmas, one and all.
Every month we give away a Star Citizenship, and December is no different. We're giving away a Starlancer Max, the new super freelancer by MISC. This allows you to do a little bit of everything in the verse. It's great multi-role ship, multi-mission ship, and multi-crew. It's flyable in-game right now as well. All you need to do to be in for a chance of winning that is comment on any of my videos made during December. That engagement helps the channel. Something else that helps the channel is liking, subscribing, commenting, sharing these videos. Thank you very much to the people that have gone the extra mile by clicking the join button or becoming Patreons. That really helps the channel so much. There'll occasionally be some exclusive content going up there. It'll be like Zin and I playing an escape room. So thank you so much, and feel free to join those lovely people by clicking on the join button or the Patreon link under the videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great ho 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 Nordmas!